Hey guys, and welcome to another video from betfairtradingcommunity.com. I'm going to talk about a big problem and mistake that a lot of traders are making today. So we're going to get into that, and to do that I'm actually going to use data. So if you're one of those people who's like, oh no, another spreadsheet to look at to learn about trading, well, this won't be the video for you. But if you are one of those people who actually wants to improve as a trader and knows that, bottom line, every successful company in the world is looking at their balance books, looking at their sheets to figure out where their profits are coming from, then this video will help you massively. So I'm actually heading over to the horse racing strategy thread here, but this is going to be based on football, this video. And what I've done is I've ported over one of my results sheets to this document. Now, I recommend doing this whenever you're going to analyze a strategy. Don't analyze it on the actual page where you're recording the data. Just rip all the data. If you don't know how to do that, Control A to select all, Control C to copy all, and then just Control V when you get to the other thing, and just do that in the first cell here. And you copy it over. Very easy to do. And what that then does is means you can experiment with this without any worry about losing any data and things like that. If you muck it up, you just basically copy it over again on a new sheet. But we're going to look at my layaway team strategy because I got a lot of traction on that video, and I know a lot of you guys really like this strategy. And it's so simple. And what's good is that it's made a decent profit with no filtering whatsoever. And that's kind of the point here, is that a lot of us, we test a strategy and we're very keen to tweak, we're very keen to improve it, as we should be, but we make the giant mistake of actually tweaking the strategy and then removing the data that we had before, or not tracking that data anymore. So what I mean by this is, let's say you've got this strategy here and you're going, well, the ROI is 2.15%, that's pretty solid. But let's look at the odds. Now, we know that when we looked at the odds, we can see here that if you look with me here on the odds on shots, so let's just go up to 2.0, virtually everything has lost, right? Everything has been a loss. So it's it'd be very easy for me just to go, okay, I can go here and get rid of all of these rows. And as I delete those, even up to 2.06 here, and know instantly, even without checking, that my profit will be higher. So let's just find where the profit one ended up. So that ended up here, and look, my ROI's gone up, my profit's gone up massively, 37 points now, just from one simple tweak. Well, let's have a look at the other end of the data, where we go, well, how have the odds against shots been getting on? And let's say we rip up to let's just go up to, let's see where it kind of tails off a bit. So we can go obviously all the way here, so let's go to 5.3. so let's get rid of anything 5.3 or above here. Hang on, let's go that way. So we're going to get rid of anything that's 5.3 or above. Very simple. Remember, we had 37 points profit, 370 before. That's now gone up to 64.6 points profit, £646 to £10 lay stakes, 7% ROI. And that's just obviously what we're after, right? That's the kind of thing we want to do. So what the mistake people then make is they go, well, okay, this is obviously the odds range I should be trading at. Now, it may well be, right? But let's go down. We've got 320 results. So let's get rid of, the top row or whatever. So we've got around 320 results, 321 results actually. And that's a decent sample size, but it's not an amazing sample size. And it's certainly not one that, because of how long it's been tested as well. So if we just look at the dates here, it's been tested since the start of February. So that's an interesting one to look at, where we go, okay, we've been starting February, it's been tested about 2 months now. That's not a long time for testing a strategy. So even though we've got a few results, we would want more before we make any conclusions. And that's kind of the point. It's nice to look at this and go, okay, well, I could have been 64 points up if I did this. And then we can have a look at leagues as well to kind of further clarify this point. If we go, okay, let's get rid of that. If we go, okay, Australia, we can see straight off the bat, 1 loser, 4 winners. That'll be in profit. Same with Austria, Azerbaijan. But then we get to Belgium, and that would be a loss. And so, especially the Juniper Pro League, which has actually lost 2 out of 3. But there's no way I could look at a sample size of 5 and definitively tell you that that is a bad league to trade. And the problem people make is that they'll go, okay, well, Belgium's obviously bad, so I'll get rid of Belgium. Right, let's see, are there any others we can get rid of here? Croatia, look, that's bad. Look, we had a loser there. Let's scroll down a bit here. Egypt's actually done all right, and Denmark's done all right. England, too many selections to worry about right now. Let's have a look at France. So we can see that the national leagues in France have not done well, but again, not many selections. And this is the big problem you're going to have. Guatemala, 2 losers. I mean, you know, we could get rid of that league now, but the reality is we haven't tested it enough. So same with the Hungary Myrtle Bank League. It's an easy one to get rid of because you're not going to get a ton of liquidity anyway. But the point is that, let's say I've done this, right? So I've got rid of, let's imagine I got rid of more leagues, blah, blah, blah. And I'm now 80 points up. And I go, wow, this strategy is amazing. All I need to do is trade these leagues and trade at this odds range. The problem is, I haven't got enough data in each league. I haven't got enough data in each odds range to make a definitive conclusion about that. And you might say, well, when do you make that conclusion? Well, you want a hell of a lot more data, but the real point is this. I don't need to worry too much about that because there's no real reason that I can't carry on just testing the original data set. So the original data set I have was the original sheet you saw. There was no filtering. There was none of this getting rid of leagues. And what it means is that even if I get rid of that stuff later down the line, I've still got the full data set to test. So what I would do, and let's go over to the software here. Let's go over to the software and go to the save filters. And let's go to the layaway team filter. Now what I would do here is I would go, okay, let's edit the filter. And let's say I did want to get rid of certain odds ranges. I might go, okay, I want games where the Betfair odds are, let's see, on the away team are going to be between, what was it? It was like 2.06, wasn't it? So let's just say 2.1 to 5.2. We put 5.3 and then just eliminate any 5.3. And there we go, I've added that to the filter. Now, the next step is the key one. What you're going to need to do is save it as something new. So let's call it, what can we call it? Let's just call it layaway 2.0. And then you can't actually see save new, but it's the one next to save here. So if I click save new, and now you can see I've got lay the away team, and I've got lay the away team 2.0, okay? And let's have a look at the selections. So it's the same selections today, obviously. They're in the odds range. Let's have a look. When we go to the 2.0 version, let's have a look. We know that it's the last category on here. And the lay odds are 4.7, 3.5, and 3, right? So that's in our odds range. That's fine. We like to lay these games. Now, this is the point, okay? How easy was it for me to create that filter and just save it new? And how easy is it going to be when I export these strategies to just look at both of them? And just look at, because all I have to do essentially is, let's go back to the original sheet. Let's say I get the selections from there, then I look at the other strategy that I've just created and there's slightly less selections. They're still going to be from the same pool. So it's very easy to actually test both of these together. And the important thing is, you might find that actually the Belgium leagues do make money because I carried on looking at the bigger data set and it made a load of money. And so actually by cutting those out, I would have cost myself profit. This is the important thing, okay? And this is why I go on about testing. This is why I go on about teaching people how to use spreadsheets properly. Because what you do when you eliminate, so let's just say you eliminate all your data there that's bad. And the other mistake people also do is they get rid of previous data. So they'll tweak their filter and then go, well, I only trade odds of, 3.0 to 5.0 now. So I'm going to get rid of anything that I've already tested that's odds were lower than that. Well, the problem is you're just kind of backfitting your testing to suit yourself at this point. Okay, and while it's good to know what range works and stuff like that, you don't want to delete the previous data you've got, because the data's so valuable, right, that you could test it further. You might find later down the line that you were wrong about something, and you can go back to the original data. But also, you'll be able to notice whether things do actually improve when you make your tweaks. If you make your tweaks and cut out certain leagues, and then you go, hang on, it's now making a loss, I don't understand. It's probably because you just cherry pick based on a limited amount of results for each league or each odds set to decide what your odds range should be. So you might say, well, Martin, okay, that's great, and that makes sense to me, but what do I do? How do I know when to actually make the tweaks? Again, testing side by side means that you will get a clear idea of that further down the line. I like to test for a while, you know that. I like to test. If I can test for 6 months, a year, that's ideal for me. Now, it's easier for me because obviously I've got strategies I already trade. We've got a lot of profitable strategies on betfairtradingcommunity.com that we share, that we can follow, that we can go along with. Okay, so that it's easy for me to say, yeah, well, I'm happy to wait 6 months, a year. A lot of you guys probably think, oh no, I want a strategy that tomorrow I can just start trading. But the thing with that is, do you actually want a strategy that will work long term, or do you want something that might work to start with? And then after a while, when it goes wrong, or when you have a losing run, you're not sure whether it's because it's a bad strategy or just variance, because you haven't actually tested it properly. Because that's the kind of mental gymnastics you're going to end up going through if you don't test properly. And that's the other thing about, like I say, you shouldn't really be deleting your previous data when you tweak a filter, because really all you should be doing is going, okay, monitor at what point you tweak, write down what your profit was, your ROI was, and see moving forward if that improves. But if it doesn't, in theory, you might have got rid of things that actually would have been profitable. And the reason that you're now looking at less profit or losing money as you go is that you've removed data sets too early with too little sample sizes. Your sample size was too small to remove, and that is the problem you're going to have. And I think most Betfair traders make this mistake, and it's quite a big one to make. All right, guys, hopefully that's clear. Hopefully you understand that. I know it's a bit kind of advanced trading theory again, but that's kind of what we do. We talk about things that you won't hear on other trading platforms. I hope you'll have a great week, guys, and most importantly, I hope you make some money trading on Betfair.